The Kremlin wants to control absolutely all spheres of activity of Russians. In addition to public life and education, Moscow is actively censoring the arts. Previously, security forces disrupted performances and prevented artists who spoke out in favor of Ukraine. But in recent months, they have begun to crack down on those who speak against the Putin regime. Artists who do not perform from the stage have also fallen under the repression. For example, after 2 arrests for anti-Kremlin graffiti, an artist, Philip decided to leave Russia.
I was prosecuted under Article 214, Part 2, under which I faced up to 3 years in prison. It was not a matter of choice, it was the last opportunity to stay free, which I took. Filipenzo, street artist, in a comment to Current Time.
It is difficult to calculate how many Russians have left the country since the start of Russia's full-scale war against Ukraine. In May 2023, the UK Ministry of Defense estimated their number at 1.3 million. Also, according to the Russian Interior Ministry, in the first 9 months of 2023, 68,000 Russians have granted citizenship or residence permits of other states, twice as many as last year. The scale of migration can be judged by indirect signs. First and foremost, it is economic. According to a Ross expert survey, 46% of top managers of companies noted a staffing shortage.
There is a huge shortage of labor and a record low, about 15% number of people under 30 among workers. Never in modern Russian history has this number fallen so low. And these are the very workers who are in most demand in Russian industry. Entire sectors of the economy that no one thought would be affected are now being destroyed.
The question what to do with relocated citizens has divided Russian society. According to the Russian field poll, 20% of Russians support a ban on the return of citizens who left the country because of war and mobilization, while 43% of respondents believe that the state should encourage their return. The situation is similar among officials. Representatives of the economic sector sound the alarm and call on the government to deal with the return of immigrants, but it is much more common to hear others statements. Those, I would call them bastards, who didn't just leave working off their pittance, are forming a base to disrupt future elections. Ella Panfilova, head of the Russian Central Election Commission. Experts believe that a new wave of immigration from Russia should be expected in the coming months. This is due to both the growing number of repressive laws and political processes inside the country and the reduction of ways to leave the Russian Federation. Previously, a sharp increase in the number of immigrants from Russia occurred after Putin announced mobilization. After presidential elections in March, mobilization may intensify, but men of conscription age will no longer have the opportunity to leave the country.
If the Russian authorities decide to carry out a new full-scale mobilization, public and open, the borders will automatically close. All the legislation for those who can be mobilized, all the legislation is prepared for that. They would not need to make any additional decisions.
Most often, Russians immigrate to Israel, Turkey, Armenia, Georgia, Kazakhstan, Germany, the Arab Emirates, and dozen other countries. Some of them even create special conditions for relicants. Thus, Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan stated that the presence of Russian relicants is welcome in the country. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Danila Kobza, UATV News.